Hello again. This is my channel, Northwest Elite Spirit. I'm Coach Brian, and today I'd like to share with you another phase of the Warrior's Garden. This will be sitting in a Warrior's Garden. Before we get into that, I'd like to ask you to consider donating to my cause, All Terrain Brian, or ATB Triple Crown, on Fundly. And what I'm doing is I'm running the Triple Crown of 200s through Destination Trail, and that is the Tahoe 200-mile foot race, the Bigfoot 200-mile foot race, and the Moab 240-mile foot race. I'm also running the Burt 100 here in Washington State on Bainbridge Island, which is a 100-mile foot race. And I have a Fundly account where I'm trying to raise money to take myself and my crew to these events, and also raise money for the arts for kids who have been involved in a program for 1 year or more. And that can be any arts right now. We're just reaching out to whoever we can and try to get them some money. That can be dance, that can be photography, that can be painting, music, drama, any of the arts. We currently have one school on board, and that's BJJ of Olympia, kickboxing and MMA, through Professor Robert Owens. And we just solidified that on Thursday, and I'll be reaching out to more as we go. I ran 25.4 miles through our forest here and through the city of Lacey and Olympia to reach them, to show them how serious I was about raising these. Currently, it's 10% of everything sent in, or everything donated. 10% of that will go to the scholarship program, and then everything after we reach $14,000. But again, if we can get sponsors to sponsor gear and food and things like this, that'll bring what we need down, and that'll give a bigger chunk to the scholarship programs. Having said that, I'd like to thank Jeff Evans of Jeff Evans Magic, and I'll share his link to his YouTube channel here below. And I would like to thank our anonymous donator. So, having run these things, your legs get really tired. And I was talking to some runners about getting up and down in a way that isn't going to have you falling over or burning lots of energy. And so I know not everybody can do this first way of sitting down, but I'm going to share it just to get into this. And we're going to start by just having good posture from the get-go. We're going to be in our horse stance. Chin's going to be parallel to the floor. Shoulders going to be slightly back and relaxed. Step in, we're just going to cross our feet and sit down. Now, as we sit, we want our posture to be the same, just as we were standing up, with relaxed shoulders and our hands on our knees. And if you watch, my posture doesn't really change in my upper body, just in my lower body. Now for me, when I'm in this position, my right cheek, or my right sciatic nerve, has a lot of pressure on it, and it starts to bug me. So if I just put one foot on top of the other, that relieves a lot of that pressure. And again, chin parallel to the floor, shoulders back but relaxed. Breathing deeply. And when I say deeply, I've gone over this in other videos. I'm not talking about taking a big breath and filling your upper chest and tightening your shoulders and maybe even your throat a little bit. I'm talking about deep breath down into your belly, and then that rolls up into your shoulders, but without tightening your shoulders and without flexing your shoulders. And then breathing out. You can do that 3 to 5 times. Each time you breathe out, just try to relax a little more. If you're thinking about other things, just try to let them go a little more with each breath. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about standing up from sitting position or from lounging position. And this was what I would call a lounging position, which we can all recognize and we've all been in, like probably a million times in our lives, right? There's a really easy way to get up from here, but it's easy with practice. It's not easy if you haven't done it a lot. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our right hip and we're going to swing it back and up into the ceiling. Okay? And so we're going to have our hand here, and our weight's going to be probably evenly distributed between our hand at first, our butt cheek, and the heel of our foot. But we're going to come up and evenly distribute the weight between these two, and you're going to swing your hip up into the ceiling and come up. Now when we do this, that'll count as one. We're going to do this 5 times. But when we do this, we have to remember that we're swinging back and up. That's 2 times. Because if we just go back, that'll jam us up. And someone like me who's flexible and has been at this a while, like I can figure it out, but it's very clunky. That'll be 3. So we have to remember, and it's okay to go slow to remember. This isn't a workout where we're trying to blast through this. Though this can give you a little burn and give you a little workout, we're really just trying to figure out how to stand up safely and with balance. So we're swinging that hip back into the sky and coming up. That's 4. Hand down, back down. And that's 5. This is good too, like if you're in a fight or if you've just fallen down. If you're in a fight, you would ward off your opponent. Now we're just going to switch over to the other side. And it's the same thing. Again, if you're not practiced, it'll be a little bit harder on the left side. But having practice on the right side, you'll have gotten a little better on the left. So again, weight evenly distributed. You're going to come up and you're going to swing that hip back and up to the sky, coming up to horse stance. Chin parallel to the floor. Nice strong stance. Hand down, kicking that through, coming back. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. Again, though this practice in this video is not meant for a workout, you will start to feel a bit of a burn. Now also from this position, you can stand up in a different way. Maybe you're jammed up. Like I said, I designed this program with running in mind. And this part was for the ultras that I attempted and failed. Sometimes I had a hard time getting up. And I was trying to think of ways that'll make it easy for me to get up. And sometimes I got up and I fell over because I wasn't quite on balance. So here's another way to get up. I'm going to put this knee on the floor. I'm going to come up into that samurai squat or kneeling in a warrior's garden and come up into horse stance. Go down into that kneeling stance and down Looks kind of like break dancing, and that will be 1. So this knee's going to the floor, right knee to the floor, right hand on the floor, left foot comes up, brings you up into that kneeling position, and we're into horse stance, and that would be 2. 3. 4. And I always put my hands up at the end because I've practiced martial arts for a while, and I always want my hands out in front of me for protection. Alright, then we can go to the other side. 1, 2, 3, always coming up into that horse stance. And all these movements for balance and for strength, for stability, we're always finding some version of horse stance. Let's see if I can remember where we're at here. There's another one, and it's just in the opposite direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Another easy one that we all know and love, and do it 5 to 10 times, is to just find your horse stance and sit down. I think this one was in kneeling in a warrior's garden, and it's kind of in between, especially you have something to sit on here, give you a little stability and balance. While you're here, you can even push your legs out a little bit. You need to feel a bit of a stretch, open up your hips. We can do that 5 to 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is another motion or another stance that was in kneeling in a warrior's garden, but it's in between. So this is basically just a sitting pose. Knees are spread about shoulder width apart, and we can just sit here like this. You can have your feet flat, or you can be up on your toes, will stretch out your toes a little more. If I'm in like a jiu-jitsu match, this brings me a little bit more, or a little bit less stability. I'm more mobile, but less stable if I'm down here. But from either one, we can come up into that kneeling pose. And we can do, say, 5 on each side, and we can do alternating. So that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And for stability, you don't necessarily want to like rock forward and then come up. You can really just 7, kind of come straight up with your frame. 8, 9, 10. So more about mobility when you're on the floor. This is one I've seen a lot of people do, but this is in martial arts or Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, like part of warm-ups, is to just switch back and forth. You can do that 10 times. That'd be 1, 2, 3, 4. You can use your hands for stability, 5, or you can 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can do that earlier stand up from this position too. You don't necessarily have to be like this. You can be like this, hand down, swing the hip, stand up. Other side is the same, hand down, swing the hip, stand up. Another way to stand up from this position is to do what I call break dancers. And for a break dancer is, you're going to put your weight on your right hand and kind of lean into it. Put weight on your left foot, and again you're going to swing that hip through, but you're going to put your left hand down, walk your hands back, and stand up. And you come down, sit out, and we're back into that position. Swing your hand over, bring your foot back, walk it back, and stand up. Go to either side. Other side. This is one where, so I was at Moab 240, and I had spiky bushes behind me, and I was up on a little bit of a mound because I liked finding mounds to sit on at the edge of the road, so I didn't have to use so much oomph to get up. But my legs were very tired. I was sitting there for shade. You got these bushes, and there's, you know, gotta find shade. It's a desert, it's hot. So I'm sitting in the shade, kind of, and I need to get up, but my legs aren't quite working. Digging my poles in, and my poles are like sinking down into like dirt, and it's kind of loose. So I go to do a total technical stand, I get like here and it's crumpled into a bush, got all scratched up. So maybe next time what I can do is come here and come here, walk myself up, and then come up. Thank you again. This has been Sitting in a Warrior's Garden, an extension of our series, A Warrior's Garden. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Thank you.